76% of U.S. energy companies say they are struggling to find enough qualified talent. That includes skilled trade workers. Daniel Turner, Gabriella Hoffman, and Phil Flynn are back with me now. So we want to expand in all of these spaces, Daniel, but we need people who are interested in the field. I think because we've seen this back and forth on energy, even if you're studying, you might be afraid to commit to the industry. So how's this going to play out?
Absolutely. And don't forget, by the time you even got to college and are picking your major, since you were 5 years old, you've been told that climate change is going to kill you. Right? We saw how they always use children to push a climate agenda. Remember the children who barnstormed Senator Feinstein's office that one time? So our young people, our college-age kids have been deeply indoctrinated that oil, gas, and coal are bad, that they're polluting, that they're not quote-unquote clean or green. So getting jobs is tantamount to the success of this industry. But we've got to go back to our children and tell them that these are the things these are your video games, and this is your blanket and your toys. These are wonderful American products that make your life better, and don't run away from them.
And how do we, Gabriella, get that messaging out there? Because there still is a lot of fear mongering, especially on the left, and especially with our children, with what they learn in school. The president is trying. All the cabinet members are trying to get out there and talk about energy. Is it enough?
They could absolutely do more, and I think they're laying the groundwork sufficiently. But you have to deploy social media. You have to do marketing campaigns. I think with the Super Bowl recently and some other major events, you start to see these pro-energy ads trickle in, pro-nuclear ads. Put out that kind of pathos-oriented ad and showcase how it's high-paying. It adds to the local economies. It could support families, have enduring kind of longevity, and just really tap into the heartstrings, much like what the climate activists do, but they do it in a very kind of misinformed way. But there is a way to appeal to people, and there's absolutely more that they can do. But I think more partnerships, more using and deploying influencers. Everyone talks about influencer marketing. Use that for good. And I think you could get more people interested in energy jobs.
Okay. And the president, Phil, is focused on growth. And that is one of the reasons energy is sort of at the center of not only his national security, but his economic policy as well. Explain to me how energy is going to drive growth forward.
It's part and parcel. If you used to judge the economy, how strong it is, you used to look at the energy market. You'd look at supply and demand. And I used to argue, just when prices start to go up, everybody's, oh, that's bad. Not all the time. Sometimes it shows economic growth. It shows expansion, and it brings more supply online when those prices go on, more. But what I'm so excited about what President Trump is doing is he's taking away the demonization of the oil and gas industry that's permeated the industry for so many times. And he has the right ideas on inflation. Everybody's concerned about affordability. Well, President Biden's policies of spending money drove up inflation. It made it more expensive to produce that gallon of gas, that megawatt of electricity or gigawatt, whatever it is. All of his policies raise those prices. Once we start lowering inflation, we can see this perfect nirvana where oil companies can make money even with a lower price because their costs have gone down. And that's where we're headed. Stable prices, not high, not low. Stability is what we want.
Interesting, because we were there in the first term, and then we took so many steps back under Joe Biden. New regulations introduced, new policy all over the place, trillions of dollars of spending on green energy. So now to walk it back takes a lot more work, but he's willing to put the time in. All right, Daniel, Gabriella, Phil, don't go away. Still ahead, Green Agenda supporters are seeing red after